As a reminder, with this workshop comes a workbook. So if you go to fulltimefba.com/workbook, you can download this workbook. It has a page for each of our sessions in this 5-day workshop, with some fill in the blanks along the way for you to fill in the blanks. I mean, that's what you do with blanks. You fill them in. And any notes that you want to write down, things to remember, because as I'm getting older, I realize even the good stuff, I don't remember everything. And if I write it down, though, it actually sticks because ink lasts longer than my brain will. So make sure that you take some good notes, write down the things you're like, I want to make sure I do this. Or Stephen just talked about that. I want to get, and take advantage of this opportunity. So be sure to download this, fulltimefba.com/workbook. I think Rebecca will put it in the chat, a clickable link where you can just click it, print it out. It's not very long, it's only a few pages, and it will help you make the most of your time with us during this workshop. We're going to go over a lot of stuff. You're going to want to write these things down so that you can take action, because that's where the money comes in when you actually take action on what you learn. You don't want to get stuck in a cycle of learning. Yes, there's always going to be something you can learn later, but you're never going to learn it all. I don't even know it all. As much as I like to tell my wife that I know it all, I don't.
He
I
knows
don't.
better.
I don't actually say
You do
that.
know that. You do know better than to say that. Now, our 17-year-old does say that he knows it all, that he knows
Yes.
more than us. I know more
Yes.
than you.
Indeed. And so, yeah, so you're always going to learn something new. In fact, the best lessons that you learn are going to come from the action that you take on what you learn here tonight. And so we're going to get into the presentation. And like Rebecca said before, ask your questions in the chat or in the Q&A section. I'm going to take a quick drink of water from this episode brought to you by Buc-ee's. And we're going to get started.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn off my camera and my microphone, and I'll be in the chat. So I'll see you there.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. So I'm excited about tonight's session because we're going to be talking and starting to build a path towards making a full-time income selling on Amazon, a realistic journey to making a full-time income selling on Amazon. Some of you are here. I've talked to some of you on some Connect calls already. Some of you are like, I am just at the very beginning and I want to make sure I get things set up the right way. I want to make sure that I'm doing the right tasks, that I focus on the things that are important, that I ignore the things that are going to be big time wasters. And I want to make the most of my opportunity to sell on Amazon and make some good money. Others, you've told me, I've been selling on Amazon for a couple of years and it's just not clicking. I'm just not finding any momentum. I'm not getting any kind of a big snowball of profits. And so help me. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on during this workshop, to make sure that those of you who haven't started get started on the right path with the right skills that you need to focus on and the right strategies that you need to follow through with. And for those of you who are already selling on Amazon, we're going to help kind of recalibrate. We're going to pivot a few things so that you're actually focusing on the things that matter, not just the things that you're doing right now that maybe you're just barely getting by, but you're actually wanting to win with selling on Amazon. And so, as a reminder again, fulltimefba.com/workbook to download this workbook. We're going to be walking through some really game-changing strategies and sessions with this workshop. And so day one, that's today. We're talking about why now is the best time to be selling on Amazon. And you might be like, Stephen, I'm already sold on Amazon. Can you get to some other stuff? We'll mention some other things in this session as well. But also, I just want to make sure if you have any doubts on if Amazon is the right place to focus your time, your energy, your money, to be able to build a business that can really help you out in the long term, that can help you build up retirement, that can help you build up, maybe get rid of debt, will help you save for the future. There's a lot of different ways that you can use Amazon to make some good money. We're going to be focusing on the best ways to make a full-time income. Maybe you're working part-time right now and you're like, I want to bring in a full-time income with Amazon. We're going to walk you through that. Maybe you've got a full-time job right now and you're like, you know what? I don't like my job and I want to replace it. How help me do that, Stephen? Okay, I will. I'll help you do that, show you the path. Maybe you got a full-time job and you're like, I like my job, but could I use Amazon on the side and build up a side hustle income? The answer is yes. 100%. We can help you do that and show you what to focus on, whether Amazon is going to be your full-time income, whether it's going to be a side hustle, whatever it is, we're going to walk you through the things to focus on so that you can bring in a full-time income. Because to be honest, I think I spend about 10 to 12 hours a week on my Amazon business and have been doing that for many years. And for many years, bringing in a full-time income with just those amount of hours. So I was able to achieve making a full-time income, but not work full-time hours. That's why we're able to host full-time FBA with our blog and our podcast and things like that. That's why we're able to do that because we only spend, sometimes 10 to 12 hours a week, sometimes 15. During Q4, maybe it's 20, 25. Um, Q4 being October, November, and December when everyone is buying everything on Amazon. Um, but there's opportunities where you can make a full-time income with only part-time hours, and we can help you with that process. And so, um, when it comes to just really succeeding and selling on Amazon, one of the most important things to do is to make sure you are confident that you are in the right place. Confident that you are it at a place where you know others have found success and that it's possible for you to find that success as well. So I am going to share my screen. Rebecca, you can tell me if you see it on your end. Um, going to take this and make it full screen. All right, what do you see, Rebecca?
Looks good.
Excellent. All right, so why now is the best time to be selling on Amazon? There are some people who are like, oh, Amazon was so much better years ago. There wasn't all these uh, brand gating issues and all these other types of problems that come with selling on Amazon. But no, it's not true. Things are so much better right now than they have ever been. Now, if you just focus on the one issue of restricted items, and don't worry, we're going to cover that in this workshop on how to get past those brand restrictions the right way. But now is the best time to be selling on Amazon because guess what? The tools that can help you, the strategies that we've figured out on our own that we can teach to you that will help you propel you to making a full-time income, now is the best time. The tools are better, they're more focused, they help you make more money in less time. And yes, and guess what? The fact that there are a few issues here and there, like with brand gating, um, and things like that, those are the things that are going to scare off the Amazon sellers who are not really committed to winning, who are not really committed to success. And you are here today. That shows me that you are committed to being successful with selling on Amazon. And so I want to help walk you through that. But why me? Why should I be the one who helps you do this? Well, I'm going to give you a quick little introduction to myself, and then we're going to get into why Amazon is the best place and how to use your time to have Amazon help you make that full-time income. So a little bit about me. Back in 1998, I was finishing up college, and I first made my first sale on eBay. I loved it. I first loved eBay because of how much I could buy from eBay, some really cool stuff. But then as a college student, I ran out of money, and I needed to make some money. So I ended up selling most of the things that I purchased on eBay. I sold them back on eBay. And when I did that, I realized, wow, some of the items that I bought on eBay, I was able to sell back on eBay for an even higher price. And I started to realize this whole imbalance that was going on. Like there's certain places and certain things that I can purchase and sell online and make even more. And so that I used eBay for like over a decade as just a nice little side hustle income, a little hobby, and it was fun and nice. In fact, here's a picture of me and my four boys at Christmas time in Q4, and at this time, I discovered selling on Amazon. I was freshly divorced. I was unemployed. I had four kids to support, and I tried to make eBay work as a full-time job. That did not work. There was way too much work involved, way too much uh, things that I needed to overcome to make that work. And when I realized that Amazon offered the FBA program, and we'll go over that in a second. FBA standing for Fulfilled by Amazon, that I don't have to store my eBay inventory in the garage, in my house, under my bed, on top of the refrigerator. I could send all my inventory to Amazon, and Amazon will store it. And when the customer buys it, Amazon will ship it to my customer. That was a game changer for me, and I loved it. And in fact, I started in Q4 of 2011. And by Q4, after Q4 of 2012, I was actually awarded by Amazon as a top holiday seller for 2012. And that meant I was in the top 25% of sales on all of Amazon. I'm like, oh my gosh, all of Amazon. I was able to, after just a year of selling on Amazon, make it in the top 25 of all Amazon sellers. That just blew my mind about the possibility. And this was actually the last year they offered this award. And I'm really thankful that I was able to get it because it showed me about what is possible with selling on Amazon. So I was in 2012. In 2013, I met Rebecca. She became an amazing stepmom. We got married. I mean, obviously, that's not the order. First, we got married, and then she became an amazing stepmom, like 2 seconds later. Um, and so obviously here's me and Rebecca and my boys grown up a little bit, and you know, I was selling on Amazon and I was bringing in a full-time income selling on Amazon, but I was working like 60 or 70 hours a week to actually make that work. And so I started to figure out what I could do to actually bring in a full-time income selling on Amazon with part-time hours. And so in 2013, Rebecca and I got married. Later in the year, we launched Full-Time FBA, helping Amazon sellers make a full-time income with only part-time hours. And so we launched that. We started helping people. We started coaching people. We started teaching people. In 2019, we launched the Full-Time FBA Show podcast. In fact, I know many of you who are here today on this workshop first heard about us because of our podcast. And we thank you for listening to our podcast. If you've never heard our podcast, you can go check it out, fulltimefba.com/podcast. You can check out our podcast. We have over 270, 280 episodes. We've got a lot of free content to help you. Um, and so it's there for you to listen through. And this, I I just am so thankful that God brought Amazon FBA into my life and into the life of my wife, and for us to be able to work from home together on this business and grow it, and also help others do the exact same thing. In fact, we're going to have some people on later this week on the workshops who are going to just kind of share their stories about what is possible, because I want you to get excited about selling on Amazon. And so let's actually jump into some things. Oh, here's a picture of this is a picture of me, my wife, and kids taken over Christmas holidays. This is a picture of us now. Yes, most of my kids are taller than, oh yeah, almost all of my kids are tall. In fact, my youngest is the tallest of all of them. Anyway, he's 17. He's taller than everyone. And sometimes we get to be a little silly as well, as the picture shows you. So anyway, we have a lot of fun, and we're excited about selling on Amazon and teaching you about what is possible. And because we have literally been able to live the dream. living the dream of being our own boss, of being able to escape the 9 to 5. Like, I don't think I could ever go back to a real job again. I don't think I can go back to working for someone again or working a 9 to 5 because of the freedom. I mean, I am spoiled with the freedom to be able to travel, the freedom to be able to choose my time of when I work. Like, I get to take my kid to school in the morning. I get to go work out at the um, like down the street where there is uh, a place to walk and exercise, and I get to come back here. I get to work. I get to take a nap in the afternoon. I mean, I am spoiled, and it is a life of freedom. And that freedom is possible for you as well because of the unlimited growth potential that Amazon brings. And it is something that is just life changing. In fact, I want you for a second to imagine the possibilities. In fact, right now in the comments, I want to hear you. If you were able to make a full-time income selling on Amazon and you were only spending part-time hours to make that full-time income, what how would your life change? What would be different? Like, for us, we're getting to save for retirement. Um, we have aging parents. We want to be able to take care of them in their aging as they're growing older. Um, got uh, kids in college who are wanting to help out. We have a special needs son. Our youngest, Peter, has special needs, and he's going to need to stay with us, for the rest of his life. Well, the rest of our lives, and we need to make sure that he is taken care of right now, in the future, and after we're gone. And so there are a lot of different things that we need to make sure that we have taken care of for our future. Like, our Amazon business helped us get out of debt. It helped us pay off credit cards. It helped us to um, pay off cars. It helped us pay off our mortgage. Amazon has helped us to have that kind of freedom. So in the comments, let me know, how would Amazon change your life? What would you want to do with that kind of freedom? Whether it's traveling more, paying off debts, helping pay off college, taking care of aging parent. What are the things that what you would love to be able to do and accomplish? My wife and I love to travel. I don't know if you can tell, we're big baseball fans, and it's our goal to go to every major league ballpark in the U.S. and Canada too. And so we want to go to these major league ballparks, and we've been able to do that. And in fact, it seems like every other year we go to a new ballpark to experience that together. And Amazon made that possible. So Rebecca, I'm going to take a drink of water. Why don't you tell me if there are any people in the comments sharing how making a full-time income with their Amazon business could help change their lives?
Okay, we've got a couple here. We've got one who says, my husband and I want to be able to work from home so we can start a family. And that is an awesome reason to want to make a full-time income from FBA because it gives you so much flexibility with your time and your schedule.
Oh yeah.
We've got Robert saying, I'm already retired, but I want to travel with my wife when she retires. I also want to get out of debt.
Yep.
And
Good
then
stuff.
we've got Juan says, I want to have more time to spend with my family. Again, this is like a really great way to do that. As Stephen was sharing, when the kids were younger, this was a way that we were able to spend as much time with them as possible when they were out of school. We've got paying off my kids' college loans. I mean, preach. We're working on paying for kids to go through college right now, and it's expensive. And
Yeah.
yeah, this is a great way to supplement helping them with that. All right, we've got be able to travel and spend more time with my kids. And then I love to travel and go to baseball stadiums too. Already visited 14. Well, you visited more than us.
Whoa.
Can't
Yeah.
remember what we're up to now. 6 or 7, 7 or
I
8.
think
I
I
don't
think
remember.
it's, yeah, 7 active ones, and I think I've been to 9 or 10 total for ones that don't exist anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, we've both been to a couple that don't exist anymore. Like Well, they exist, but not for the same purpose. I don't know. Does the old Yankee Stadium still exist? They didn't tear it down, did they?
They tore it down.
Oh,
It's
that's a
horrible,
bummer.
but they tore it down. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least the ballpark in Arlington still exists, even though it's not the Rangers' home anymore.
Right. Yes.
All right. So that's what we've got. I love hearing these dreams that are going to be turned into a reality when you are making a full-time income with Amazon.
Awesome. I love that. So let's get into it. Why now is the best time to be selling on Amazon? And this, I mean, just preparing this lesson has got me psyched, has got me pumped up for selling on Amazon, and I can't wait to share this with you. So let's get right into it. And in fact, actually, I'm sorry I said I can't wait, but now I'm gonna pause for just a second because I want to remind you we're giving away this FBA starter pack. If you were here all 5 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if you're here live with us, you'll be entered into a drawing to win this FBA starter pack. Now, this is only open to US residents because shipping overseas and internationally is just too expensive. So, um, this giveaway is open for US residents. So if you are here all 5 days, so be sure that you plan out to meet with us all week long, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. All right, I will stop stalling and get right to the blanks because some of you are like, I got my pen ready and I need to fill in some blanks. So we're going to get into that right now. So why now is the best time to be selling on Amazon? So why Amazon? Like why is something else not better? Why is eBay not better? Why is Mercari not better? Why is doing Amazon audiobooks? Or there's all sorts of crazy ideas. I'm sorry, not crazy, that I don't know them that well. There are other ideas of making money online. Why is Amazon the best? I'm glad you asked. I will tell you. Number one, there, and this is the first blank in your workbook here. There is no store on the planet that's bigger than Amazon. Amazon is the biggest store on the planet. And some of you might be like, well, duh, I totally already know that. Well, I just wanted to make sure that everybody definitely knew that. You're like, is it bigger than Walmart? Yes, it's bigger than Walmart. It's is it bigger than I can't even think of what would possibly be the third place. But Amazon is the biggest store on the planet. They have warehouses in so many countries, so many different places, and will ship to even more places that they don't even have warehouses. They at least have the opportunity to ship. But if you want to sell something, you want it to be sold on Amazon. Like having your own website, no, you're going to have to worry about trying to get the traffic to your website. Guess what? Amazon already has all the traffic. In fact, when it comes to United States, Amazon, the next fill in the blank, Amazon accounts for over 38% of all e-commerce in the US. So, of every single website selling something in the United States, Amazon has over 38%. Um, I skipped over that Amazon is called the everything store. That's there's even a book about it, but Amazon has almost everything. Yes, there's not technically everything because certain things no one will want to buy, but Amazon has everything. But overall, over 38% of the US e-commerce market is Amazon, and that is huge because there are like easily tens, possibly hundreds of thousands of websites trying to sell you something just in the US alone, and Amazon over 38%. So, Amazon's the biggest store. It has the biggest chunk of the market. And so, again, if you want to be selling something, you need to have it on Amazon. And when people, the next fill in the blank for you, when people go shopping online, the first place they go is Amazon.com. In fact, it's been almost a decade since Amazon eclipsed Google as the number one shopping starting point for anyone online at all. Most people before 2016 went to Google as the number one place. They go to Google and they would type, birthday gift ideas for a 7-year-old girl, or um, a Mother's Day gift for grandmother, things like that. And they would try typing those type of things. Well, now they go to Amazon and they type in those exact same things. A lot of Amazon sellers just assume, excuse me, a lot of Amazon sellers just assume people go to Amazon and type in the exact product that they're wanting. Like, I mean, I'm getting choked up just talking about it. Like, like diamond necklace or something like that instead of Mother's Day gift ideas for a first time mom. Like people go to Amazon and type in those types of descriptions in the search bar, and Amazon knows that, and Amazon gives them the most the items that have had the most sales and the items that have the most best reviews. And so people, they still go to Google, but Amazon is now the number one place to where customers go to search something. And again, you might be thinking to yourself, Stephen, you have not told me anything new. I already know this. Well, yeah, you probably already know it, but you haven't maybe made the connection that Amazon is where you need to be. Or maybe if your Amazon business is suffering, maybe you're starting to think, what, I'm doing something wrong. I need some help. Well, guess what? That's what we're here for. We're here to help you. So when people go shopping online, the first place they go is Amazon. Next reason why Amazon.com, pardon me, Amazon Prime has spoiled the world. I mean, I am so spoiled. In fact, let me take another drink of water. um, right now, my wife and a friend of hers are about to go through a book together. They're going to go through a book together. Um, Rebecca ordered the book from Amazon. It came the next day. My wife's friend ordered the book from some other website that was not Amazon, and still has not received it. Like it's been multiple days and still has not received it. And so it's like, just that's like normal expectations. You expect some other website.com to just take forever to finally get you what you want. But Amazon, if you're like, in fact, you're like this. When recycling day comes on, this is what your recycling looks like with Amazon Prime. You've got so many boxes that you need to recycle. This might be your expectations with Amazon too. 3 seconds after you order something, you're like, why has it not been delivered yet? Amazon Prime is spoiling us. Um, Here's a public service announcement. Don't drink and Prime. It's not a good idea. You just never know what you ordered when you get it. Um, and then ordered the thing from Amazon with 2-day shipping, got it the next day. It's like, sometimes, I mean, Amazon has spoiled us so much that like we're like, man, 2-day shipping is actually a long time. I'm so used to receiving it the next day. And oh man, does it ever freak you out if you order something in the morning and then like by the afternoon it's at your doorstep? Again, Amazon is spoiling us. But that's good for us Amazon sellers, because this is why people love Amazon so much. This is why they go to Amazon first with trying to find something. Another reason, Amazon's net revenue. It just continues to grow year after year. Amazon's net revenue continues to grow. And you're like, well, that's good for Amazon. How about me? Is Amazon good for me? Why, yes. Yes, indeed. In fact, the next fill in the blank, Amazon is the best money making platform by far. By far, Amazon is the best platform to spend your time and energy in to make good money. And if you showed up today and you're like, Steven, I'm not making that money yet, but I'm selling on Amazon. Well, I'm here to tell you there's some tweaks that you need to make in your Amazon business. Stick with us during this workshop. We're going to show you some things that can really help you out along the way. Um, the next fill in the blank, Amazon FBA has revolutionized reselling. Again, before, FBA standing for Fulfilled by Amazon. Um, uh, in fact, I was on a call earlier today fact, I'm not going to say your name, but if you are driving your FedEx truck right now, hopefully it's okay if I share this. But he was telling me that he had a bunch of inventory and it just wasn't selling. And I asked him, "Are you doing an FBA or fulfilled by merchant?" And he said, "No, I'm fulfilling it by merchant." And I was like, "That is a huge game changer. You need to get your inventory to FBA because FBA is what is spoiling us because FBA will spread your inventory. If you have got multiples, spread it out all over the US so that your inventory is as close to as many customers as possible so that because if you're just doing fulfilled by merchant, um the person I was talking to was in Michigan. I'm like, you might get the buy box, which is that little corner in the top corner of the box that the of an Amazon sales page where people click to buy it. If you're in Michigan, you might get the buy box for customers who are in Michigan because Amazon wants the customer to get the inventory the fastest. But you know what's faster than you shipping it from Michigan to a customer in Michigan? It's Amazon shipping it from where they have it in whichever state that the customer is in, gets it to the customer as fast as possible. Especially if you've got your inventory spread out all over the US, your items are going to get to your customers faster. You're going to get more sales. Amazon puts FBA sellers in the buy box almost 100% over fulfill by merchant. Like they'll still, maybe do a fulfilled by merchant buy box if there's no FBA sellers. But FBA has revolutionized reselling. Like before, when I was selling on eBay and people knew, okay, they can buy it from me from eBay, they'll get it in about a week or so. But now we're so spoiled if we can't get it very fast. And so Amazon FBA has revolutionized reselling. On top of that, people trust Amazon. They do. They trust Amazon. That's why they keep going back to Amazon. And I know Amazon is a lot of different companies. Amazon is like they got Amazon Prime videos and Amazon this and Amazon that. But when it comes to actually products, people trust Amazon and go there to continually buy stuff over and over again. In fact, how many of you, let me know in the comments or give me a raise your hand emoji, how many of you have ever ordered something from Amazon and when it arrived, you're like, I can't even remember what I ordered. Because it could be this, or it could be this other thing that I ordered, or it could be something I can't, that it just people trust Amazon and order from Amazon all the time. And the huge news for us, Amazon is called a first party seller. Us resellers are called third party sellers. Third party sellers make up over 60% of all sales on Amazon. That is huge. In fact, here is a graph tracking how third-party sellers just continue to grow more and more and more each year. Whereas I think about 4 or 5, I'll say 2 years ago, Amazon finally started to eclipse 50%, and now it's up to 60% um, of all sales on Amazon are from third-party sellers. And that's huge. That's an amazing opportunity for us. Now you might be thinking, well, if there's more third-party sellers, that just means less sales for me, right? No, no. I mean, again, Amazon's net revenues continue to grow year over year over year. Jeff Bezos was quoted back in 2019. Third-party sales have grown from over 3% of total sales back in 1999 when FBA was first launched to over 58%. That was in 2019. To put it bluntly, third-party sellers are kicking our first-party butt badly. And Jeff is okay with that. And so now in 2025, we're over 60% of all the sales on Amazon are coming from someone like you and someone like me. And so, with third party sellers making up for over 60% of all sales on Amazon, the opportunity for you to join in on that and get a piece of that action is awesome. Here's some other numbers that I've recently discovered. New Amazon sellers are earning an average of nearly $30,000 in annual profits. profits, not sales, profits. New Amazon sellers. Now, this does not count. This number does not count people who start an Amazon account but never send any inventory in. Those numbers are, you know, um, not in the calculations. If you've sent inventory, if you are a new Amazon seller, you actually start sending inventory into Amazon, average $30,000. That if that's new. And guess what happens if you continue on in your Amazon business? You continue to grow, learn new strategies. Um, you start making even more than that. So what is what is the percentage of Amazon sellers who are actually doing really well? Um, and well, actually, let me follow through with this first. Um, this is what people are doing. They're finding flips like this. On Lowe's, I bought this for $24 and then I can sell it for $76.99. That is awesome. And buy some makeup, $44, sell it for $75. I bought some food, $7.99 for some mashed potatoes, sell it for $22.97. Um, Getting some shampoo for $7.68. Oh, this is my favorite. The time when it's out of stock on Amazon. No sellers are selling it. I can pick my own price. Now, obviously, I'm not going to sell it. No one's going to buy it for $100, but like we actually have strategies where you can know the perfect price to price your item so that you can get a quick sale, but still make some really good money. Or like this toy, about $30 on Walmart, selling it for $80 on Amazon. This is the price discrepancy that just goes on and on. Again, some makeup remover for 15 bucks after coupon, selling it for $33. Clothing, $90, selling it for $180. This is examples of things that I have sold in the past and have found opportunities, and you can too, and I can teach you how to find those items. So why Amazon? Here's some good money, some good numbers. Currently, again, the next fill in the blank, about 10% of Amazon sellers earn over $100,000 annually. 10%. Now, again, that 10% does not count Amazon sellers who create an account, send in a handful of items, and then never do anything with their Amazon business. But people who are actually committed to making Amazon work, 10% of Amazon sellers, third party sellers like you and me, earning over $100,000 annually. That is mind blowing. And what is something that could be possible for you as well? Let's talk about some strategies I do not recommend. Drop shipping is the worst way to sell on Amazon. Drop shipping is basically, I'm gonna tell Amazon that I've got this can this can cooler. I'm gonna cover up the I'm not yeah. I'm gonna sell this item on Amazon. I'm gonna tell Amazon I want to sell this item for $40 because I can see at this brand's website, I can buy it for $10. But I'm not actually going to have the item. They'll buy it from the customer will buy it from me for $40, and then I'll just go to that website and tell them to ship it to my customer. That's drop shipping, where you are actually purchasing it from somewhere else after the customer buys it, which sounds good on the surface, except that what happens if the store goes out of stock and you now have to fulfill this order? What happens if the store sends a different item than what you had ordered for that customer? What happens if the customer wants to return it? Do they return it back to the store? No, they're going to return it. There's so many ways drop shipping can go wrong. They can ruin your Amazon seller metrics and end up getting your Amazon account suspended, where you have to work really hard to get it back to become an approved Amazon seller account. Drop shipping, while it sounds nice, is easily the worst strategy when it comes to selling on Amazon. Another strategy I do not recommend is called private label selling. That is one of the hardest ways to make money on Amazon, because private label selling is like basically, I'm going to take this can cooler and this is a Yeti. I mean, that's a very popular brand. Well, what if I make my own can cooler and I put my own little brand on it and try to sell it on Amazon? It sounds great because guess what? No competition. I'm not going to have anyone else selling these because these are my own items, private branded, private labeled. But how are you going to convince a customer to purchase your item when you don't have any sales, you don't have any reviews? Oh, I guess you have to put a ton of money into advertising. And then you have to actually come to compete against the well-known brands. There's just it's not impossible to make okay money with selling private label items. It is just the hardest, most difficult. The best way to make a full-time income selling on Amazon in 2025 is combining arbitrage with FBA. Arbitrage is buying the item from one platform to sell on another platform. Kind of like I first started with eBay. I bought it on eBay and sold it on eBay to a different customer. With arbitrage, we're buying items locally from retail stores to sell on Amazon, or buying it online stores to sell on Amazon, or buying it direct from a wholesale brand at wholesale prices to sell on Amazon. You're buying it off of one platform at a lower price to sell it on Amazon at a higher price. So when you combine that with FBA, knowing that FBA is spoiling the world with its fast shipping, its easy return process, and a lot of people are like, "Yeah, returns are so easy that it's really frustrating as an Amazon seller." No, the fact that returns are so easy is why you're getting those sales in the first place. And there's strategies and ways that you can make returns work out for you so that you're still able to sell it as new or sell it as used or collectible in certain cases. We can show you and teach you how to do that. But when you combine arbitrage with FBA, it is easily the best strategy that works for Amazon sellers to start making that kind of money where you're making a full-time income and then start outsourcing certain things in your Amazon business to start making a full-time income. And one of the best ways to do that is to focus on accelerating your income with replens. That's the last fill in the blank for the page. Accelerate your income with replens. And what is replens? Well, guess what? That's exactly what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. The best profit boosting inventory to sell on Amazon. It's replens. We're going to talk about that 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night. The link for you to show up, fulltimefba.com/day 2. That link does not work right now. It will not work until 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. But the best profit boosting inventory to sell on Amazon. And I've just now realized I did not proofread this, and um, it is not. We're not talking about the best profit boosting inventory to sell on Amazon, but we are
I
going
did
to talk.
not proofread this either.
Yeah, this was the
I was
last
not
minute.
given an opportunity to proofread this.
Yeah, this was the last second change to make this little image here, and I did not go through my. I'm in so much trouble. I did not proof this with my proofreader slash partner. Anyway, but that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. So I invite you to come back tomorrow, and we're going to have some fun with that. But right now, I want to get into whichever questions that you have. Rebecca's going to come back on screen, share whatever questions you have. If you have not asked a question, you're now is a great time to ask your questions in the chat. You can do it there's a Q&A tab in the Zoom, so you can ask your questions. We're going to focus mainly on the questions that match up with the topic from tonight first, and then if we have time still available, we will go into other questions for other areas of Amazon.
And just so you know, Stephen, our I don't remember if you said it was UPS or FedEx driver is home safely parked and not watching while driving.
Okay, good to know. Okay, so he did show up tonight. That's awesome.
Yes. All right. So do you still sell on eBay?
Very, very rarely. There are certain times that I do have an item that I need to sell on eBay. Usually it's an item that needs a specific item description or specific pictures. Amazon is not the place for that. So if it's something that's really rare, um, basically, if I can make more money selling it on eBay, I will do that. But my main money maker is Amazon.
Okay. Back to you were talking about drop shipping. So we've got a question about drop shipping. Is that the same thing as FBM, but in a bad way?
Um, mm, mm, mm. Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
I guess that would be fulfilled by merchant, but then your choice of how you fulfill it is
yeah.
letting someone else fulfill it. Yeah, yes. I guess that is a strategy or a way you can fulfill by merchant. Um,
Yeah, I mean, the listing on Amazon is going to look like a fulfilled by merchant. It's going to say sold by, shipped by the same person.
yeah,
Whereas like our listing would say sold by Steven, shipped by Amazon because Amazon is the one fulfilling it.
yes.
When you see a listing that says sold by blah 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 seller, shipped by blah 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 seller, that's fulfilled by merchant. And it could be drop shipping. You don't
Mhm.
know that.
Yeah, it's never gonna say sold by blah blah blah, shipped by Kohl's.com. No, it's
Right.
not gonna say that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Where can I find my FBA returns in Seller Central? I've had a few returns processed, but don't see them anywhere.
So for you, I would go to, yeah, log into your Seller Central account and then just in the search bar, um, click type in returns, and that will be, one of the fastest ways that you can do that. Another way you can use there's a little, I call it a hamburger icon. That's what other people call it as well. It's like the three lines that, because I guess it's like a hamburger. You got the bread and the meat in the middle. I don't know. You can click on that, and one of the options in the menu uh, is going to be returns, and you can look into that. A lot of times, though, when you first go to it, it will show you your merchant fulfilled returns, but you need to click a
The top.
button to see your FBA returns to toggle that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. About how long after you ship items to Amazon will they be available to customers?
So it depends, but because it depends on which shipping method you use. If you use UPS partnered shipping with Amazon, that's probably going to be the fastest way to get it to Amazon. If you are sending it via USPS, which you have the option to do, it would take a lot longer. So it gets to Amazon faster with the UPS partnered shipping, and then also it depends on how far away the warehouse is that you're shipping it to. And so, um, I wish it was a really quick and easy. I usually in my mind think it's going to take about a week to get to Amazon, get checked in, and go live. Sometimes it's a lot faster than that. Sometimes it's a lot longer than that, especially during Q4 with Christmas time when the check-in times are a lot slower. But I usually think about a week is what to expect with my own Amazon products.
Yeah, and there's definitely times when even though the products are still traveling from here to there, from here to the FBA warehouse, that they go live on Amazon. They just have a like more extended date for the customer that it will be shipped to them, and then they can choose whether or not to buy it from us at that time. But it will indicate to them that it's going to be arrive by a time that's further out than like the normal 2-day time because you might be the only person that's got it in stock. I mean, that's always a fun
Yeah.
place to
Oh yeah.
be. You're like, you've got it in stock, but you just never know. It could be that if other people do have it in stock, they won't show it live on the website until it's actually at the warehouse. There's a lot of factors that go into it. Okay. How hard is it to find reliable wholesalers?
Um, I mean, it is not hard to find reliable wholesalers. The difficulty lies in convincing the wholesale brand to allow you to sell their items, to get a wholesale account with the brand. And so, um, like I feel like most brands that you want to be selling on Amazon, like you've seen, okay, these items sell well, they sell fast. And by wholesale, I mean like direct from the brand, not like a distributor who's taken a percentage of the profits by distributing it. Like, like, uh, but when it comes to actually trying to convince the brand to allow you to sell, and we've got some trainings on that, um, it's that's the game changer, being able to convince the brand to allow you to sell their stuff on Amazon. And that's something that we have trainings on that we can help you out with.
Yeah. For sure. That's something that we talk about in a specific workshop. This workshop, we kind of touch on wholesale, but we have another workshop that we do throughout the year where we talk more about that. And it's kind of a nuanced question about how hard it is.
Yeah.
But it is totally possible. I mean, we do it all the time. That's one of the ways, Stephen was talking about how tomorrow we're going to get into talking about replens. And that's one of the ways that we have found some of our best replens is through wholesale sources.
Yes, absolutely.
So Anthony says, I guess after the 5-day workshop, I'll find out how to send inventory to Amazon for FBA, right? Like what program to use.
I mean, we will walk you like we w- I'm trying to start 5 sentences at the same time. I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
Um, so like if you need help with that, we can point you in the right direction. And we will walk through how we can point you in the right direction, coming up in a few days. So we will be covering this in the workshop, not in the full detail, because that is more of a
More complicated than
right,
workshop.
exactly. And so, but we can definitely point you in the right direction on how you can get that kind of training that you need.
Yeah. It's not complicated like, ooh, it's so complicated, but
Right.
it involves a lot of steps that definitely we have the training for that. And we will make sure that you have access to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, how do you drive? Like, I'm in Texas. How do you drive to New York State? Well, I could say go east and then go north, but it's more complicated than that. And so, and by complicated, not hard, but just there's a lot of different places to
More
stop and
steps.
turn and slow down. And yeah.
Yeah, there's more steps. Okay, we got a couple more questions coming in. So this is going to be the last call for questions. If you have them for today, be sure and get them in the Q&A or the chat. And of course, we will have time again tomorrow for Q&A. So there's always that opportunity. But if you have burning questions for tonight, be sure and get those to us. So it seems difficult to nail down profit if you spend $1,000 on products. Some say you will make 10 to 20% profit depending on your average ROI, but that's not exactly a straight answer. So how much can you make spending $1,000?
I mean, there's times where you can spend $1,000 and lose 500.
Right.
And there you can spend $1,000 and make $2,000. And so it's definitely that this is why it's kind of a hard answer to, or a hard question to answer, because like overall, when it comes to the inventory that we try to find to sell on Amazon, Rebecca and I have different comfort zones when it comes to ROI, return on investment minimums, the kind of profit margins that we want for the items that we're selling. Um, so overall, like we try to, like, everyone wants to double their money, which is 100% ROI. That's what people want to do, and it's an okay place to start. But the more you lower that ROI, the more items you're gonna be able to find, and the more money you're going to be able to make because you're selling more items. And so, like, I like a starting point of at least 30% ROI, and Rebecca, I think Rebecca likes a little bit more than that. And
Just
so, yeah, it all depends,
kidding.
because we don't just look at that, we look at other factors too to make a good decision. There's not just one thing to look at. There's multiples, but there's certain things that are more important than others, and that's something we can walk you through.
Yeah. Okay, here's the last question that I've seen in the chat. If I have not answered your question, you might want to put it in the chat again. So this is the last call, but we've got this. I've sold stuff before which was returned. How can I find out the reason if that's possible? Also, I've had people return stuff for some reason which was posted on the description, but they apparently did not read it. Why is it that I can never find the description of what I'd sold? Or does Amazon just leave it out, essentially telling you they wanted a refund, deal with it?
So yeah, Amazon, when
People
it
don't
comes,
read. That's so frustrating that people don't read the description. Sorry.
yeah, it's what's funny is that I don't think we've ever said this before on any of our
I
the
think I know what you're about to say.
yeah. So Amazon allows the customer to choose the return reason. It's like whether the item didn't match the description, or the item doesn't fit, or the item was defective, or whatever. And so I always like you also need to include the option customer defective because the customer did not read the description and understand what they were buying. But customer, no one's gonna choose customer defective, but there's sometimes where they really should. Um, so is that what you thought I was going where I was going?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Um, so Amazon has a drop-down menu of why the customer returns it, and some of them, like some of the reasons, might not fit, and so the customer might just pick something random, just so they can have a reason, and so without actually talking to the customer, we're never going to really know why they returned it. But the bottom line is, if it's still a new condition and can be sold in new condition, it doesn't matter why the customer returned it. You can resell it. If it's returned and is now like maybe opened by the customer, well, then we can see if that item can be sold as used, or if it's a toy item, sold as collectible, because you can't sell used toys on Amazon, but you can sell collectible toys on Amazon. And so, while it would be nice to know why the customer did, the bottom line is you want to choose something that will help you get as much of your capital back that you invested in that product, and try to still make a profit. And so, if you're still able to make a profit by selling it as used, great, sell it as used if that's allowed. If you can't get your profit back, you can at least get some capital back by selling it as used or collectible. The best case scenario, it's still in new condition. So it's not Amazon telling you, we're not going to tell you why, you have to just deal with it. But sometimes that's how it feels.
Yeah.
And so, just make the best choice that you can.
We get stuff back that's been returned that says that it's defective and it hasn't been opened.
Right. Still factory sealed
Barely.
and
Yeah, still
defectable.
factory sealed, never opened, never used, but somehow it's defective. And so people,
That's the customer defective.
right. People sometimes just don't even choose the correct reason.
Mhm.
So sometimes they do, and sometimes they'll leave comments or whatever, but it's frustrating.
Yeah, but it
It's
is
worth
a
it.
part of the business.
Yeah, it is. It's worth it because the returns are part of any business, any retail business works returns into their business model. And it's the same with selling via FBA. It's just part of the business model. And you just keep an eye on your return rates and see if there's something you need to fix in your system. But otherwise, it just happens.
Yeah. If you
Yep.
start noticing the same items get returned for the same reasons, then you definitely need to look into that.
So a follow-up question about the returns. So do you have Amazon send it back to you?
So if I'm selling it via FBA, the customer will return it back to FBA warehouses. And then if it's in new condition, they'll put it back into my inventory as new. Well, most of the time. And if it's not, then I'll set up a removal order, have it shipped back to myself to uh, just look at the item, look at it, make sure see what kind of condition I want to sell it in, and then send it back to Amazon. If you're doing fulfill by merchant, then the customer would send it back to you. Um,
What's the
and
name of the program that they've started where Amazon inspects it for you?
I think it's called grade and resell, where Amazon will take the return and then grade it, and then you set up a certain type of price rule that Amazon follows with. So if I sell something as new, it's returned and it's in the grade and resell program, then Amazon and again, you're trusting an Amazon worker to do this, and so you have to hope they do a good job with that. Um, and then like, oh, I think this is in good condition. It's not like new, it's not acceptable, but it's good. Okay, well that item will go back into your inventory as good, and the price will follow whichever pricing rule you set up with that program. Yeah, we're testing it out right now to see what we think on a few of our products. We'll
We'll
definitely
report back.
report back and let you know.
Yeah, I just forgot what it was called. I knew
Yeah,
that what the process was, but I forgot what it was called. So I'm glad you remembered.
yeah,
All right. Well, we are 4 minutes over time. So I think it's time to wind down for the evening.
yeah. That sounds good. So again, tomorrow we're going to be walking through the best inventory to focus your time and money on in your Amazon business. I already told you what it is. It's replens, the items that you can find over and over again, sell over and over again. That is the game changer when it comes to making a full-time income. We're going to walk you through why it's so important and what you need to be focusing on to find those replens in your Amazon business. And we will see you tomorrow night. We're going to have a good time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Sometime later tonight, I'll send you a replay of this session as well as links to the upcoming sessions, as long as you have signed up for the workshop at fulltimefba.com/workshop. If you have not, go ahead and sign up now. You'll get the replays sent to you, so you make sure you take advantage of that. But
Yep. And everybody that is saying that they had a great first day and that they'll see us tomorrow, we're so glad you're here. Thank you
I
for
love that.
saying that. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Matt, Evelyn, Jonathan. We're so glad that y'all are here. Don't forget that if you show up live every time, Monday through Friday, that you have an opportunity to be entered in the giveaway. So be sure and
Yep.
show up live if at all possible.
Sounds great. Well, we will see y'all tomorrow night. God bless.
Bye.